Okay, this is number 7. All right, and it's r squared equals 64 sine 2 theta. So the first thing I'm going to go is, hey, is this symmetric to the pole? And yeah, I'm like, of course, because it's got an r squared. So it's yes, symmetric to the pole. So if it's symmetric to the pole right here, then that means if I put a point here, I put a point here. So if you're seeing me green, if I put a point here, then I can put a point here. Okay, kind of on the diagonal from it. So we're going to plot those points now. Okay, so the first one I'm going to choose, by the way, I rewrote it because, you know, you have to solve for r. So that's plus or minus the square root of 64 sine 2 theta. So 0 is 0, so you got a big center. And then pi over 12, I went ahead and used pi over 12 because I had it and I knew this was going to be small. So sort of, you can decide whether you want to use pi or 12. But the more points you put on it, the better drawing you'll get. So just using my calculator, I got a plus or minus 5.7. So if you look at pi over 12, this is the pi over 12 line. Here's 5.7 where I decided to do 5.7. And then if you back up, it's plus or minus. So if I back up and I'm on this line right here, then there's the negative 5.7. So I've got that guy and that guy. All right, then pi over 6 gave me 7.4 plus or minus. So there's my 7.4 at pi over 6, and then backing up to 7 pi over 6, I have the negative 7.4. Pi over 4 gave me 8 plus or minus 8, so there's 8, and going backwards to negative 8 would be over here. And at pi over 3, you get plus or minus 7.4 again, sort of symmetric on this. So that one would be, would be there. And its negative 1 would be down here. So positive here, negative there. All right, a couple more points at 5 pi over 12. I just went ahead and went with this one also. You get 5.7, so there's my 5.7 and my negative 5.7 down there. And that is, if you do pi over 2, what do you get for pi over 2? So that would be sine of pi over 2 would end up being sine of 2 pi of, sine of pi, which is negative 1, which doesn't exist. So the rest of these points don't exist because you get negatives under the square roots. So these are the only points that there are, so they make this nice little petal. And in its other petal across the pole. So that's how you graph number 7. Now, that is your notes for this lesson. And you can start the homework. The homework, you're going to have to test for symmetry and then do some graphs.